Happy Tuesday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. Hey! Hey! It is time for Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays, where we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience for 13 minutes of our day. We do it together. Yes. Hello, welcome. Drop in the chat box. Say hi, hello, where you hail from. If you're new to Shift Your Thinking, we are continuing our series of Shift Your Thinking from the book authored by Dean Del Sesto, 200 Ways to Improve Our Lives. And yes, you guessed it. There are, excuse me, my chin itches. There are 200 ways to improve our lives in this book, and we are covering 200 ways in the series, which means today we are on episode 87. Profound, so profound, so profound to me. Yes, these last couple of weeks have been challenging and difficult for me to get out of bed and get going because I have really been working on a project that has been carrying my hours late. I'm wanting to be a little bit more disciplined in setting a stop time. But, you know, as a creative, when I'm in there, I'm in there. So it definitely is a bit challenging, just a bit, for me to stop and then have to start again. So, you know, allow me to do that. I want to make sure I share this to my timeline. Shout out to my radio podcast listeners who are helping us grow the channel. You all are amazing. And if you haven't subscribed to the downloads or subscribed to the show on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you do so, because when I launch webinars and different things, I'm actually dropping off codes on the show that my listeners can get. So they get the goodies, the benefits, as well as those of you who are on my YouTube. There are clickables as well that you can use from the show. My computer's trying to say it's going to restart now. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Yes, good afternoon, Landscape Larry. How are you? I know I just shared. It's been challenging for me to get going on time. Yes, we are supposed to be on at 8:10 Pacific time. However, you know, I am project driven right now, working on an amazing project. I'm stretching myself. So that's why it's been a little bit challenging. But I'm working through it. So this episode, and I'm going to make it short, sweet, and powerful, of Shift Your Thinking, I'm calling for sale. I am calling this for sale. And I think I'm really going to enjoy this. You know, as you know, I don't read ahead of the book. I just start where we left off. And so I'm going to appreciate the gems that we learn today, because it's going to be a great reminder, especially in being in sales. It'll be a great reminder. So I'm going to jump in. If you're following along with Shift Your Thinking, I'm in the section where it says everything in life is about selling. Everything in life is about selling. Hold on, let me adjust my windows actually, so I don't miss anyone on IGTV. We do stream live on Instagram TV. All right, good. So I've got both of yous up. So everyone is included today. Yay. Okay, he says everything in life is about selling. Either you'll influence them or they'll influence you. I like it already. Absolutely. That's why that whole thing, influencer, is important right now because you're either on one side of the coin right now or one side of the Instagram. You're either the one who was presenting, promoting, selling. You're the influencer. And if you're on the other side, you're the one that's being influenced. And that's just from a social media standpoint, because when you're listening to radio and you're watching TV, you're being influenced. There's always someone who's doing something. All right, the author says everything you look at, sit on, drive, eat, play with, and experience is here because someone persuaded someone else that it should be here. Absolutely. Absolutely. I said it, I'm going to enjoy this because it's going to be a great reminder, and especially for the work that I'm in and doing. Persuasion is the key, he says, to every innovation. Persuasion is the key to every innovation. I like it. Even persuading ourselves that we can innovate and make it happen is a serious battle. I just shared this when I opened up. I said it's been a challenge because I've been in this project and working on my first conference. So when I get ready to call on you, I will be calling on you individually and asking you to support me my first conference in any way you can. Yes, I'm thinking about that. Yes, it is absolutely me persuading myself that I can get this done. I find a need, I see a need, and now I'm working on persuading others to agree with me that there is a need for this conference and that we should have it. It belongs here. He says, add to the mix that others may be trying to convince us things can't be done, and World War III is here. The war of persuasions. Win, lose, or draw, life is about selling someone on who, what, when, where, why, and how it should or could be. Are you in agreement? Is this resonating already? Absolutely. You know, we're inundated with this, just as he said, while we eat, play, drink, live, what we drive, our devices all represent something because that came out of persuasion. Someone persuaded someone else and said, this is what people need. I will say this, if you've never been to the licensing expo as a creator, you absolutely should attend. I know Facebook tends to sponsor their ads. The licensing expo, if you're a creator, you're an innovator, even if you as yourself as a brand, I think you should attend because you will see that you will be part of a world that is responsible for creating everything in our existence as it is perceived by other people. And that is the quote unquote celebrities that you are watching, the shows that you are watching, the gear that you wear, the swag that you have, the music that you listen to. It is very profound to be in an arena with people that have that much power. Persuasion. He says, I'll continue, the author says, whether from clients, prospects, spouses, friends, kids, or even strangers, we live in constant competition of persuasions, and as much as we'd like it to be a little less competitive and a little more based on the merits of our ideas, it's just not so. For sale. Hence the reason for sale. He says, if you want to move agendas and get things done, I'm listening. I'll definitely be listening to this replay. If you want to move agendas and get things done, for those of you who are activists, pay attention. If you want to move agendas and get things done, it's best to embrace the necessity of persuasion, even if you have to change the word sell to convince, even if you have to change the word sell to move, even if you have to change the word sell to influence, or whatever fits your style. Imagine that. Even a subtle change in terms can make us more at ease with the inevitable path of persuasion. Let's test that out right now, actually. Would it make a difference if I rephrased influencers as sellers? Do you think they'd be popular when people blatantly know they're being sold to? You're an influencer, or now I call you're a seller. Are you following that salesman or that saleswoman, that salesperson? Are you following that salesperson? Isn't that so funny how just a change in terms that we don't realize when it's happening, because those are tactics of persuasion. I like it. Again, for those of you who have your personal agendas, who have your professional agendas, you activists who are looking to move people in a certain direction, take notes. I think that was an awesome gem that I definitely needed, especially at the time of doing and working on my sponsorship deck and my proposal for my conference. Yes, timely, because this is the week I start to pitch. This is the week I start to pitch the conference to potential sponsor partners. I'll continue. He says, here's what makes the concept palatable. Selling is serving. Absolutely. Selling is serving, and we'd be well served to sell ourselves on that idea. Shout out to Angela, Alyssa, Instastone 27. John, I think I saw you at Simply Wholesome yesterday. I wasn't sure. If it was, I'm remiss and I didn't say hi. I was embedded in reading and journaling, but I saw you in passing. I don't know. So yes, this is really important for me right now. So again, shift your thinking is me. It's this. I'm going to read this with you or without you. I'm just sharing with you, and I trust you're finding value in what I'm sharing and that you can apply this, because as the author said, persuasion is key, and if we just change something like, if we just change the term from influencer, if you change the word sell to convince, move, influence, or whatever fits your style, it then has such a much more, it becomes the soft sell, actually. And I'm about the soft sell. I like to work with people in a way where they don't feel that I'm doing a hard sell and I'm signing you up and I'm forcing you to do anything. Why? Because that's not the experience that I want you to have of me. That is not the experience I want you to have of me. Jerry, thank you for liking. Troy, thank you for loving the show. And make sure you share and let someone know what we're doing on Shift Your Thinking every Tuesdays. Let's wrap this up. He says, in its purest, most honest form, selling is nothing more than paving the way to create value for others and providing something that will improve their circumstances. Imagine that. What do you have of value that can influence, that can change someone's way of living, their world, their experience? I like this. Isn't that something? I agree. Antoine says, wow, that simple change made things change a lot. Someone's applying some tactics here. Absolutely. Imagine that. I like that. I like that. Selling is nothing more than paving the way to create value for others. And that's exactly what I've been doing with my conference. In my mind, I say I employ more people, especially when we are working with sponsored partners. They have a budget for it. We want to show them that we have value. We want to use their support so that we can reach the community. We can help tie their brand or their goals, their mission, their products, their services with the people that they're trying to get connected with. And by creating a space, a forum, a platform to do that, it's a soft sell. It's not the hard sell. See how that works? Isn't that something? From influencers to sellers. I think that's so, I think that is so profound, Antoine, right? If we started calling influencers sellers, their following would go for people who are like on that trend. You know, and for the people that are connected with me, that's why I say connect, share, and build. I don't consider myself an influencer. I know I'm a salesperson, that's for sure. That's what I do for a living. I sell books, I sell teas, I'm selling sponsorships, I'm selling property. I know who I am. But for those who are in that position, that new, thought or position of influencer, imagine what happened if we all started to say, oh, do you know that new seller that jumped on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube? Do you know that new seller? Oh my goodness. So funny. Welcome to, what's that? Ask Secret Styling. Welcome to Shift Your Thinking. I'm having fun with this because someone is getting it. Some of you will get it. You'll realize what's happening. Play on words, the power of words, and being strategic about it. All right, let's continue. He says, it's a noble cause, and we should never feel guilty or intrusive for sharing something that moves others to a beneficial action or result. I'm going to read that line again. Every single thing about this episode I love. I'm probably going to replay this over and over and over again because I need reminder, especially as I'm moving into a different arena, but it's not so different. So when you sell sponsorships, and like I said, I'm working on this conference, it is for the social good of Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation. Actually, 100% of the proceeds is going to benefit the nonprofit organization. Again, this is not about the selling, quote unquote, the selling. It's providing a benefit. And I'm not going to feel guilty about sharing the benefit of holding the conference and having the partners participate in what we're looking to do to educate and empower new and existing homeowners, because there's a lot going on post home ownership. For any of you who post home ownership, bought your property, you'll know what I'm talking about. Actually, there was a survey that was done that said 63% of millennials regretted or had buyer's remorse after purchasing their first property. Why? Because they were not prepared for the maintenance on that property, which is why I'll be using that survey as a reference for the need for our post home ownership conference, which is the Property Owners EDU. EDU, educate and empower. Antoine says that's definitely a shift of your thinking. Yes, using the term from selling, replacing the word sell and selling to influence. What was the other one? Move and convince. Just that simple. Voila. Now you're an influencer. So call the process what you like, he says. Do it the way it feels right for you, to you, but persuade away. That world will be a better, livelier place because of it. Excuse me, the world. The world will be a better, livelier place because of it. All right, CTA for today, call to action. I invite you By the way, that is also a persuasion tactic. I'm not giving you directives. I'm inviting you to participate. You see how that changes? Because I'm a salesperson. So, of course, I study persuasion and ways to convince, influence, and move people to make a decision. Someone's got to get them from thought to action. And that is my job as an influencer. Be very different if I said as a salesperson. Why? Because salesperson has a negative connotation. I think I should have, had I known this episode would have gotten into this depth, I would have named this episode Influencer. I think that would have been a better caption in lieu of for sale. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to change it right now. Shift Your Thinking episode, Influencer, instead of for sale. Dr. Kevin, Callie, Kush, welcome to Shift Your Thinking. We're getting ready to wrap up. So make sure you catch the replay on Radio Podcaster or on YouTube at lasuperagent. View the archive and get caught up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust that I'll see you here next week at 8:10 Pacific time. In the meantime, I actually just want to change the caption real quick. Let's see what happens. Shift Your Thinking, episode 87. Call it Influencer. Boom. Shift Your Thinking 87 was about influencer. It wasn't about for sale. See how that works? All right, y'all. Let me get my day started. Well, my day is started already. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. Yes, we were a bit tardy. I was tardy, but right on time. You know how I feel about that. Who needed to rock with me, who need to get the message, got the message. And if you're never able to connect with me at 8:10 Pacific time every Tuesday, remember we are available on radio podcasts everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, Breaker, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Overcast. I can go on and on. Whichever is your favorite platform, make sure you find me there, subscribe, and thank you again for your continued support in growing the channel. We'll see you next week on episode 88 of Shift Your Thinking. Remember to apply this to your life this week, because someone's influencing you, or you're influencing someone else. It's just how we do it. And remember, don't feel guilty about doing it, because you're providing a value and a benefit to the world. All right, that's my time for today. I love you, love you, love you. Have a powerful and productive week, and we'll see you next week on Shift Your Thinking.